Okay, so I got to the library. There was one missing book, and if you remember I was like almost a year ago. I honestly wonder if it was I wonder if it was actually a year. I'm trying to say I wonder if it was like exactly. There we go. I wonder if it was exactly a year ago. Um, where remember Ghosted Volume 2 never came in. They said, "Oh yeah, we have it, but it got checked out your account and we don't have it." Yeah, so Twig Volume 1 by Scotty Young showed up as holds. And when I say holds and checked out, so that's very important. Holds mean we have it, but we haven't checked it out yet. And what's happened before, it says received, but they forgot to hit checked out. And I got the book I got the book no matter what. I got the book just fine, you know? So it's really weird that they didn't have it. And she's like, oh no, the librarian says, I looked at the covers. I don't remember seeing that cover for Twig Volume 1, which is really weird. And it was active on my account for the longest time. And what I thought they did was they got it from interlibrary loans. Because they had it no matter what. They had it, and I'm like, okay, get that from here and not Gmail. There's two different uh, ways you can solicit books now. Or two different places. So, yeah, I didn't get that book. It's kind of annoying, but I'm going to this is in no particular order, but I'm gonna do what I do when I have like one additional slot and fill that up with a book that I need to finish that I own right now on myself. You know what I mean? And those books will be Young Avengers for the 50th time. This is a damn good run. I'm gonna read this, and then I'm gonna read Children's Crusade again. So last I remember, it was a lot of loose pages there. Hope that they're all still intact. The library had that problem, not me. I think I'm too close to the edge, so over here a little bit. There we go. If I move out of the way, can you see the slab? No, we can't. If I go down, you can. There we go. That's where I have my slab. I saw that, the Spider-Man one. Ouch. And then why that sounds so weird. But to finish up the Watchmen books I need to finish up before Watchmen, one of them at least, and the book's gonna fall on my. And I haven't held like this. I'm gonna first put the fallout off. And we got Ant-Man by Zeb Wells. These are all books I own. I'm just going over these as is in a hard time. So the final three I read Young Avengers, but before Watchmen, Ant-Man, and Hard Time I have not read yet. So you'll get that review for the first time. You'll get that, you know what I mean. I don't be specific. But I said in no particular order because I only have one open slot to fill in. But usually what happens, so I'll have like 2 4-issue miniseries. I still want to pay 25 books, so I fill that in, for that gap in. I know it's really weird, but like when it's like 23, you might as well put 25. Because like 25 is the average, not average. Well, it might as well be the average amount of books I check out per visit. But this time there's a technical exception because there's a lot of original graphic novels. Starting with, I just take this out right away. Make sure I have it. I don't know why I do that to myself. Purdy Volume 2. Blackjack Orgasms Lace. Here's how kind of book this is. I really liked Volume 1. Volume 1 was pretty interesting, and it kind of ends on a cliffhanger, and this is the final volume in the series. And it's original graphic novel, too. And what I do, and I know it's very, very specific, but when it's an original graphic novel and it doesn't go by chapter, what I do is I read it all in one sitting. So that first day that I have, and it works out well because it works out perfectly because I usually the first day that I go get the books, I never have enough time to read them all in one day, all 25 in one day. So I just read the original graphic novels. I still read a library book, but And again, I know that's very specific. I just realized I haven't read a book at all today. I kind of woke up a little bit late, so I had just enough time to get ready to go. Then we got the book. This is also an original graphic novel, The Book Tour by Andy Watson. Now, I'm gonna go over the artwork for Purdy because I alluded to it last time. Of course, the books down here are gonna fall. Hang on. Yeah, I don't want this thing to rip the bag I have. That's what I do. Alright, so yeah, I'll go with the artwork for Purdy, because I had said how it looked a lot like, or it reminded me a lot. It's not the best. There we go. It reminded me a bit of Andrew McClellan's artwork. Kind of like that sketchy, more like cartoony, sketchy artwork. Which I say sketchy. Then we got A Map to the Sun by Sloan Leon. And then we already saw The Book Tour by Andy Watson. The artwork here is very minimalistic. It's like comic strip artwork. Like exactly like that. So that's gonna be a very interesting read. They did not have Sunburn. I thought they would, but they didn't. Well, they did. They had it, but it was too early to check it out from the new library that had it, which is kind of annoying. It's like, yeah, I get it. You know, you want the other patrons in that library itself to have enough time to read the book. But you know, you could just be like, hey, you know, no one's checking it out, then it's checking it out. Check it out. And then this one is technically does go by chapter, but it says True Romance. Now, why did I get this book? Because, and I hope it's here. Oh, okay. I did. All right. So, which one is written by? One of these is written by what's her face? Does it show it? Let's see if I can flip right to it. Sarah Vaughn writes one of these issues of chapters. Let's see if I can find which one. Yep, here we are. This one right here, Ruined. She writes that. A nice volume 1. Yes, I wanted to. I didn't know she had. I feel like Sarah Vaughn, like, because they all they had for Sarah Vaughn was Alex plus Ada, which I own. Sleepless, which I own now. They had at the library, and then Eternal Empire, which I own, and everything else. I was like, I feel like I can't find anything. I can't remember if she's done anything for Marvel or DC, so it's kind of like indie publishers. I mean, she's indie exclusive. I could be wrong though. I never did look at her up on like Comixology or whatever. Because I don't have a DC app anymore, for whatever stupid reason. Okay, so then we got all the normal book 3. And then, okay, I actually want to put these two together. So, there's a reason for why I got the next book I'll show you. Because it's similar in plot. I mean, I got it because it was written by a writer I wanted to read more of. But also, it was the fact that, here it is. It was similar to another book that I got back into. So, this is Another Castle by Andrew Wheeler. And the plot, and actually, I think when the quote said, "Oh, it's very similar to Princeless," or Princeless, Volume 4. Now you saw this. Now, when I didn't start on Volume 4, obviously. I had gotten Volumes 1 through 3 a long time ago. Then I took a long break. So long, in fact, that I had to double check to make sure I was on the right volume. And I am, because I know I had read Volume 3. Volume 3 looked exactly the same. Yes. Yeah, it was that kind of that book I was kind of getting sick of. It was kind of like, It wasn't terrible. I do recommend you check it out. Digital, for free or at a discount. But, you know, it's just kind of like one of those things where you read too much, I guess. It's kind of annoying, you know? It wasn't terrible or anything. Far from it. Here, let's see all the rest of the books. All the rest of the books. Yeah. What if I just found Twig? And I was like, oh, there it is. The first thing I would do was call them. Say, hey, turns out I did have it. Whoopsies. But no, so far, no. I just checked real quick. So this next one is a very, very controversial book, and that is What If Miles Morales. Now, I did not have this on my wish list, so what I do is I write down on my notes what to put in for next time, so I can remember what to put in. And this was not on that list. I just so happened to come across it, and I was like, you know what? Let's check it out. I don't even remember what I was looking up. Was looking up Spider-Man maybe? I don't know, but this is an extremely controversial book, and I'm kind of excited to read this once and for all. I did read the issue 1, and I didn't like it too much, but it gets worse. from what I've been told. Now this is what I've been told. Like it's entirely possible that it's either going to be so bad that it's good, or actually kind of interesting and at least not terrible as bad as other people are saying. It's possible, but I'm thinking it's going to be so bad it's good, if anything. But yes, got that one. This next one is, so you know how sometimes, I think I mentioned here how, actually I did for, so another castle written by Andrew Wheeler. I got an Andrew Wheeler book at my last time I went to the comic book shop, so I wanted to get something by Andrew Wheeler from my local library. That's what I do sometimes. Like, I'm like, oh, it's author I don't know, I want to get, Sarah Vaughan did that too. This is the inverse of that, technically. Because while I do own an Ally Cott book from Image, especially, I am going on my wish list right now from Amazon. I have I have all of the rest of what Ally Cott has done for Image I don't own. I also want other books, and I'm very skeptical to put in Ally Cott, especially because all I read by him is Secret Avengers. So I decided to check out Generation Gone. So you might see this in my collection soon. Maybe. I don't know. But again, it's the inverse of it, where I usually check it out, I usually check it out because of the fact that, wow, $17.99. It's expensive. And actually, like it works out pretty well. What I have right now, my current wish list works out pretty well. But also, it's one of those things where I'm like, well, Alright, I keep saying Alright, so Vindication, Volume 1, or just Vindication? Vindication. Yeah, I got it because it was Image. I know. But it looks pretty interesting. It does look like kind of one of those books, though, but yeah, Sometimes I don't mind those. Like with Bingo Love, I would never have checked out before. Unless I was like, if T. Franklin hadn't written it, hadn't written it, or I didn't know about T. Franklin's controversies, I would not have checked it out at all. So there you have it. I actually did like Bingo Love. I know I shouldn't have technically, but I did. Then we got Teen Titans Volume 1 Full Throttle. Volume 1 of Andrew Glasses? No, Adam Glass, I remember now. I have Adam Glass right here. Of Adam Glass's run. This isn't exactly well regarded, but I want to check it out. I had it, why not? It's after the Rebirth run. Why the hell not? Maybe there's a reason for why we haven't gotten a Teen Titans book in a long time. Unless you count Future State. And actually, they did have a Titans Academy, which I don't think anybody counts. Rocket Girl Volume 2. I can already tell I'm not gonna like this one because I didn't like Volume 1. But there's only 2 volumes in this series, so I was like, to hell with it. Then we got Namesake by Steve Orlando. The final volume in the Wonder Woman by Brian Azzarello run. And after this, I can finally get on She Wrote Rose from Image Comics, what's her name? Meredith Finch's Wonder Woman run. Which I've never read before. I have read Brian Azzarello's run, but back then, like even the most recent time I read Brian Azzarello's run, I always skipped the post Brian Azzarello pre Greg Rucka run, or pre Rebirth run rather, because I didn't hear the best about it. But I'm willing to give it a chance, especially because I got Rose by Meredith Finch. No Mercy Volume 2. Wow, it only collects 4 issues. It's a pretty thick book. Only collecting 4 issues. Or is there more? No, 4 issues. Huh. Shudder Volume 2. And I think I kept saying Layla Del Luca. It's Layla Del Duca. So, sorry, but it kind of makes more sense to have your name be Layla Del Luca, because Layla Del Duca doesn't sound as good. It doesn't sound as good. It doesn't roll with the tongue as well, so to speak. I always think they did this. This is not from Rogers themselves. As library, as playing local library, as Rogers Memorial Library. So why the hell did they do that? Because it's definitely from another library. You see right here, it's NHTI. I mean, they have to do this because that's the only way they can check it out on their end. I'm going to ask them about that next time. I gotta remember to do that. Oh, sorry, Deadpool Illustrated. Seven Soldiers of Victory, Volume 3. Eager to get back... Not eager to get back on that. Ms. Marvel, Civil War 2. This is where a lot of people had their... Not I want to say breaking point, but this is the point in the Ms. Marvel run where a lot of people were like, oh, she's really a really bad character, she does this, really big mistake. And I'm like, well, if you read the book, you would know that it's, it was a mistake. And yeah, I think people would say, yeah, it was a mistake, but it would give their own reasoning behind why it's a bad move for the character to have done that. And I would agree with them and say, yeah, I see your point, but still, yeah, I don't think it's a big deal. But yes, this is like, if a lot, so what I'm trying to say is, a better way of explaining it is, this is why people don't like Ms. Marvel. They always point to this character defining moment of why they don't like her, and like, oh, well, it's because of this, and it's like, okay, I understand that. And I am very, very open to other people's opinions, very open to other people's opinions. There are books that I like Ms. Marvel, that everyone else doesn't like, that I follow, and then vice versa. They like a book, I hate it. So it's no one's opinion is fact, and I understand that. Of course, there are exceptions. If someone said they hated Preacher, I'd be like, what the hell is wrong with you? By Garth Ennis. Like, Linkheart topped the fourth wall. He doesn't like anything by Garth Ennis. I'm like, what the hell, man? But I still like appreciate his opinion, because he has, if anything, he was the reason why I picked up Ms. Marvel to begin with. And no, not Snotcroc. That was Comic Drake. So it's not like that person has. Not that person. It's not like Linkara has a terrible opinion on comics. No, he has a great opinion on comics for the most part. So is everyone else, I because I agree more with this guy than Linkara, then when they say a book is good or a book is bad, I trust them more than Linkara, it's kind of one of those things, but even though I forget that, hey, he got me into Ms. Marvel, which I really like, Then we got Codename Babushka? This one was, I was just looking at it. It's Image comic, but this, either way, I would have checked out. It looks very interesting. Is that the interior artwork too? No. Liars. Not liars, it would be, Stretching the Truth. Flabbergasting? I don't know. So this next one is a very interesting kind of book. This is the DC Universe by Neil Gaiman. So first of all, you'll be seeing a lot of Neil Gaiman, 2 more Neil Gaiman books this time. It was a Neil Gaiman week. Now, Hollis School Library. What the? Really? A school library had this? So if you guys don't know, they don't usually get along with school libraries anymore. I don't know if it's post-pandemic or whatever, because before they were fine with it. But I guess once the pandemic hit, they were maybe a little bit more skeptical of the schools were. So this is kind of a weird one, because not only do I have most of what's collected in here, but a lot of it is like longer books, and then shorter books here. You have it's one story from an anthology series. So you only have that one story, but you don't have that full issue. It's that one story. It's like 5 pages. Then you have a huge long graphic novel. It's like a lot of pages. It's like 20, not 20 plus. That's no, but it's like come on, spit it out. That is very long, and then you have it's kind of like an inverse. I know it's really weird. Like, it's not like a big deal, but I was like, oh yeah, there you go. Oh yeah. I was like, oh cool. So I'll be reading this for a long time. But I want to check it out. I always saw it when I was looking up other DC books. It was always at the bottom of it. Like, it was like, oh, just in case you've been looking for this one. Like, no, I didn't even look. I wasn't even close to looking that up. But yeah, I got that. And I'll go over the last 2 to 3 Neil Gaiman books, and then we'll go over the last few, obviously. So these aren't the last 3, obviously. We got Marvel 1602 for the 10th time, along with the sequel, and then Sandman. One more Sandman after this, and I'll definitely get. I'll have no excuse to get on the show. It's a show I want to read the comics again for like the 50th time, yes, but for like the 50th time I want to read it again. Technically, actually, this is the second time, because if you don't know, I'm going to reiterate it just in case it's your first video of mine or whatever. But Sandman is that series that I kept jumping on and then off. It's an on and off relationship with that comic. But now I'm like really into it now. Not as much as other people are, but more than way more so than I was in the past. The past. The past. Now, this one's kind of a funny one, because they said, oh no, we don't have Green Arrow Volume 3. What are you talking about? They did. And it was just a weird mix-up. Then we got Star Wars Volume 6, along with the other Star Wars book, Dr. Aphra Volume 2. And the final two are Image Comics, and of varying quality. Copperhead, which I already recommend, is my second reread. Oh, it will be my second reread of the series. And then Moonstruck, which anything but good. I mean, again, so look at the cover right now. If it looks good to you, check it out. This is the book you can judge by its cover. Exactly that we can do. It was too like cutesy pie, like it's kind of silly Billy humor kind of thing. Like it was too much for me, personally. And why did I check out Volume 3? Well, it's only a 3-volume series. Might as well finish it all and never have to read it again, you know? And I didn't exactly hate it. Like, I didn't fully hate it. Yeah, it wasn't exactly my favorite comic in the world, but it also wasn't the worst comic I've read either. So, at least it has that going for it. Now, I talked about 30 plus books in... I didn't review them, but I still talked about them, for the most part, in 20 minutes. So I'm going to let you guys go, because I think sometimes I go for too long. We'll go for 22 minutes, so it's a Simpsons episode, although they don't exactly go... I always say 22 minutes to the Simpsons episode, but sometimes it goes for 21 minutes, you know? It's not exactly 22 minutes. I know, I over-explained.